Welcome everyone to a brief introduction of design thinking and life design for the Life Design Summer Institute 2021. This video is intended to give you a quick introduction to design thinking and life design for those of you who might not be familiar with what we do at the Life Design Lab. So a central premise of our work at the Life Design Lab is the idea that in order to find a career that you love, that you should think like a designer. This actually goes against a lot of thinking around careers where a lot of students, particularly at Johns Hopkins, want to plan ahead, want to come in with a 4-year plan as a freshman, want to execute that 4-year plan step by step, and then have a 10-year plan for what they want to do after college. And we think, and this idea, this is borne out by the experiences of our alumni and the people that we talk to out in the working world, is that very often our plans they change, they encounter reality. And so what we need is not better plans, but a better approach to careers. And so we think that life design is that better approach. So what does it mean to think like a designer? Well, it means to use the practice of design thinking and use that practice and that approach to our own life and careers. So what is design thinking? So design thinking is a process, right? It's a series of steps that originated out in the Bay Area at Stanford, California, as an approach to product design. So most of the products that you have in your consumer products, your iPhone, your laptop, different consumer products and consumer electronics were created through this process of design thinking. And it goes through a number of different steps. The first step is to empathize, right? To understand the user, try to understand what they may need, what they desire, how they're using the product. The next step is to define the problem, to scope the size, the shape, the characteristics of what you are trying to solve, and make it very clear what it is that you hope to accomplish through the design process. The third step is to ideate, right? To get past our brain's tendency to be critical and to leap to judgment and to create as many ideas, including wild ideas, as possible from which to explore different solutions to the problem. The next step is to prototype, right? To build your way forward, to create cheap, fast, and quick products that you can learn from and iterate on quickly and to get the data that you need for your next prototype. And then finally, to test these prototypes to see if they work, to get feedback, to hear from your users and refine the definition of the problem so that you're continually revising and continually working towards a final product. So that is the process of design thinking, right? But design thinking is also sort of a mindset or a series of mindsets or skills, right? It's this, and these mindsets are radical collaboration. So designers like to work together and bring together many different ideas. The idea is that you don't want to just work with people who think like you or have your same background or your same approach to problems, but to bring in as many different people as you can, because each, this diversity, this radical collaboration is going to lead to ideas and different ideas and wild ideas and ideas that you might not have considered. Another mindset is reframing, right? Being able to take a problem that seems intractable, that seems not to have answers, that seems to be difficult and unable to move past, and reframe it to restate the problem in a way that you can at least begin to generate ideas and possible solutions. Curiosity. Designers are curious. They love to ask questions. They love to be open to new ideas. When they encounter new people, their first response is to ask questions, to say, tell me more, to just not to be set in the ideas that, the way that you think the world operates or what you are hoping to accomplish, but to be very open to new ideas and new possibilities. Designers are also very mindful of the process, right? We just talked about the design thinking process, that series of steps. So it's important to understand where you are in that process and also not to skip ahead, not to skip past the empathizing, the defining part in order to get to the ideation or the prototyping part, but just to be good to go through that process step by step so that you really understand the problem that you're trying to solve before you start generating solutions. And finally, designers have a bias towards action, right? It's not just researching. It's not just continually kind of trying to analyze the problem. It's trying things out. It's testing things out. It's the prototype phase, because only by taking action, by trying things out, that's what's going to generate information that you can then use to refine your solutions. Design thinking is also a way to tackle what designers call wicked problems. These are problems that have no easy answer, that might have multiple answers, problems that, by just trying to tackle the problem, you generate new and unforeseen problems. So they're very complex problems that design thinking is a way to tackle these, these issues that don't have easy or set solutions. Design thinking is also a fantastic way to approach a problem when you are stuck, when it doesn't seem like there's any way to move forward. By using a design thinking process, you can then begin to reframe the problem and begin to generate solutions and to get unstuck. So, two of our colleagues out at Stanford University, Bill Burnett and Dave Evans, both of the Stanford D School, both of them, designers and faculty in the design program at Stanford, realized that the same techniques that they were using to explore and to design products in an engineering setting, in a product design setting, that same process, those same techniques could be used to design your life. So they realized that our lives are the ultimate wicked problem. There is no easy solution to your life, your career, your education, whether or not you decide to get married and who to marry, whether or not you decide to move cross country or not. These are all very complex problems that don't have easy answers. They also realize that our approach to career isn't working. Again, the career planning, the idea of having a 10, 15, and 20-year program plan was just not working for the students that they encountered at Stanford, and it's an idea that we share here at Hopkins as well. And that many students, that many adults, many of all of us actually find ourselves stuck at one point in our life. And so they decided to transition or take the ideas behind design thinking and apply them to life. And so thus was born Life Design. So it's the same process as design thinking, except they added an initial step, which is the accept phase, right? The idea that where you are in life is where you can begin the design thinking process. That it doesn't help to think about different choices that you might have made, to think about what might have happened had you gone to Duke rather than to Hopkins, had you dwell on whether or not you majored in biology as opposed to biomedical engineering. That you begin where you are, and from there you can begin to design your way forward. That is a brief overview of design thinking. Thank you for joining us.